You've spent your whole life trying to be liked. And what has it given you? Disrespect, betrayal, people walking over you because they know you won't fight back. Niccolo Machiavelli said it best centuries ago. People will love you when it costs them nothing, but they will only fear you when crossing you comes with a price. And in the game of power, fear and respect are worth 10 times more than love. This is what I call the respect switch. Once you flip it, everything changes. You stop chasing people. You stop lowering yourself for scraps of approval. You become dangerous. The kind of person others think twice before lying to, cheating, or disrespecting. The truth is simple. The world doesn't reward the agreeable. It rewards the unbreakable. When you no longer care about being liked, you gain something far greater: control. And when you have control, something ironic happens. People suddenly like you anyway, because they're afraid not to. That fake affection they once dangled over you becomes real, because they sense that losing your approval has a cost. Stop begging for applause. Rip the leash off your neck. It's time to stop being liked and start being respected. The need to be liked is not harmless. It is fatal. It strips you of leverage, makes you predictable, and hands the steering wheel of your life to anyone willing to withhold approval. That's not kindness. That's slavery dressed up as virtue. From childhood, you were told to play nice. Teachers rewarded the obedient student who never challenged authority. Employers praised the team player who sacrificed without complaint. Even in friendships and relationships, the message was always the same. Just be nice, and people will like you. But Machiavelli understood something deeper. Affection is a cheap currency. It can be printed endlessly, and because of that, it's worthless. Love and approval are fickle. Respect is not. When you build your life around being liked, you're gambling with fake money. Easy to counterfeit, easy to withdraw. People smile at you, flatter you, even pretend to admire you, until your usefulness runs out. And then the smiles vanish. You're discarded. History shows it clearly. Kings who tried to be loved were overthrown. CEOs desperate for approval destroyed their own companies to please shareholders. Politicians who lived for popularity ended up powerless, controlled by everyone but themselves. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. It is safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Yet most people still chase love at any cost. Why? Because it feels good. Approval is addictive. Every nod, every smile, every pat on the back gives you a quick hit of validation. And like any drug, it makes you weak. You become dependent. Worse, people can sense that dependence, and they weaponize it against you. They learn they can manipulate you simply by threatening to withdraw affection, and you become desperate to win it back. When you live to be liked, you negotiate from weakness. You compromise too much, say yes when you should say no, and swallow disrespect just to keep the peace. But peace bought with weakness is temporary. The people you try hardest to please are often the ones who exploit you first, because they know you won't fight back. That's the trap. When you need others to like you, you hand them the keys to your self-worth. They don't even have to hate you to control you. All they need to do is make you fear they might stop liking you. This is exactly why Machiavelli warned rulers never to depend on the love of their subjects. Love is voluntary, unstable, based on fleeting emotion. Fear, or rather, respect, is rational. People may love you and still betray you if they see personal gain, but they won't betray you if they know it will cost them. Modern life is no different. In business, the man who demands respect gets better deals than the man who tries to be liked. In relationships, the person with strong boundaries is valued more than the one who bends over backwards to keep the other happy. In friendships, the one who's willing to walk away is never the one who gets disrespected. Being liked is not evil, but chasing it is. If you're respected, you may be liked by the right people anyway. But if you're only liked without respect, you'll never be taken seriously. You'll always be seen as useful, never as valuable. Soft, harmless, someone who will never say no. So how do you flip the respect switch? The first step is internal. You must kill your addiction to approval. You have to become completely comfortable with being disliked, even hated if it means protecting your self-respect. Once you stop craving affection, you become immune to manipulation. You're no longer an emotional beggar waiting for crumbs of validation. People notice this shift instantly. They see a man who no longer explains himself, who no longer seeks permission to exist, who no longer cares if his choices upset someone. And ironically, this is when people begin to respect you more, even admire you, because strength attracts admiration, while weakness only attracts users. The lesson is simple. If you must choose between being liked and being respected, always choose respect. Love fades, popularity dies, but respect endures, and respect protects. The respect switch is not a trick. It's not a mantra you repeat in the mirror. It's not a fake mask of confidence. It's a fundamental rewiring of how you see yourself and how you force others to see you. Most people walk into every room hoping to be accepted, hoping to win smiles and approval. They measure their worth by how much other people like them. The respect switch flips that upside down. You stop asking, "Do they approve of me?" and start asking, "Do I approve of them?" This internal shift changes everything. Your presence, your tone, your energy. You speak less, but your words land heavier. You stop over-explaining. You stop apologizing for existing. People sense you have no leash around your neck, and that makes them cautious. Machiavelli would have called this positioning. A ruler doesn't beg for loyalty. He defines the terms of loyalty. He doesn't plead for love. He makes disobedience costly. The respect switch turns you from a petitioner into a prince. Internally, it means no more approval seeking, no opinion, no praise, no criticism dictates your value. It means no more compulsive niceness. You're kind when you choose, not when you're pressured. Your kindness becomes a reward, not a default. Externally, it means clear boundaries. Boundaries sharp enough to cut anyone who pushes against them. It's visible when you walk away from disrespect without argument, when you refuse to reward manipulation with your attention, when you no longer give unlimited access to your time and energy. People will test you. They always do. They'll poke at your boundaries, try to guilt trip you, provoke you, even attack your character. They want to see if you'll bend, but if you hold steady, they adjust. They learn that with you, there is a cost to disrespect. That's why Machiavelli said it's safer to be feared than loved. Fear doesn't mean brutality, it means consequence. When people know there's a price to pay for crossing you, they treat you carefully. And that careful treatment, most people confuse it with love, but in reality it's respect. The respect switch also creates rarity. When you stop giving yourself away cheaply, your presence gains weight. People notice you're not always available. You're not everywhere. You're not begging to be included. Scarcity breeds value. A man who refuses to chase others starts attracting them instead. And here's the most powerful part. Once the switch flips, you don't need to raise your voice, threaten anyone, or demand respect out loud. Your attitude alone communicates it. You carry yourself like someone who doesn't need anyone. And that changes how people treat you before you even speak. In practical terms, the respect switch can be summed up in one principle. You decide who is worthy of your approval, not the other way around. Instead of performing for others, you make others perform for you. Instead of proving your worth, you make them prove theirs. When you truly embody this, you stop fearing disapproval. And paradoxically, people start giving you more approval than ever before. They can sense that you don't need it. And humans instinctively value what they cannot control. Respect in the real world is enforced by action. People don't take you seriously because you think differently. They take you seriously because you behave differently. That's why I'll give you 5 Machiavellian rules to command respect instantly. These aren't suggestions. They're non-negotiable. Rule 1. Silence is stronger than defending yourself. Weak men over-explain. They justify every decision, every mistake, every no. But the more you explain, the less people respect you. Power is quiet. When you're challenged, speak less, not more. Machiavelli knew rulers who justified every move lost authority, while rulers who stayed silent appeared decisive and unshakable. Rule 2, withdraw approval. Never chase it. When someone disrespects you, don't argue. Don't beg. Pull away. Stop rewarding bad behavior with your time and attention. People quickly learn your approval is rare and that losing it has a cost. Weak men beg to stay liked. Strong men make others earn their way back if they even allow it. Rule 3, detach emotionally in conflict. Most people lose respect when they lose control of their emotions. Rage, whining, overreaction, they all signal weakness. Machiavelli admired leaders who stayed calm under attack. The colder you remain, the more people fear misjudging you. Never let them see what gets under your skin. Rule 4, be unpredictable. Predictability makes you exploitable. If people know you'll always forgive, always compromise, always show up no matter what, they stop valuing you. Keep them guessing. Change your patterns. Sometimes reward, sometimes withdraw. Machiavelli advised rulers to avoid consistency because consistency gives enemies a map. If no one can read you, no one can control you. Rule 5, enforce boundaries without warning. Don't threaten, don't announce, just act. If someone crosses a line, cut them off, walk away, remove access immediately. Machiavelli taught rulers to punish swiftly and decisively so no one doubted their resolve. Silent consequences speak louder than any speech. I am not a man to test. These rules work because they attack the root of disrespect, the belief that you need others. The man who needs nothing holds all the cards. When people realize you're willing to walk away, they stop pushing. But the key is consistency. The respect switch isn't about one dramatic act. It's about building a reputation. The man who doesn't bend, the man who won't explain, the man who doesn't chase. Over time, people stop challenging you because they know exactly how it ends. Let's make this concrete with an example. Imagine you're in a business meeting. Someone undermines you publicly. The weak man laughs it off, tries to win back favor, or debates endlessly to prove himself. The man with the respect switch goes silent, looks the offender in the eye and says calmly, "We'll revisit this later." Later, he removes that person from his circle of influence without explanation. One cold act earns more respect than 100 polite speeches. Machiavelli would approve. He believed respect must be cultivated deliberately. When people learn that violating your boundaries has real consequences, they stop gambling. When they see you're unpredictable, they stop plotting. When they sense your silence is dangerous, they stop talking over you. The moment you master these rules, you stop living like a performer begging for applause and start living like the man who owns the stage. If people believe they can live without you, they'll treat you as disposable. If they fear losing you, they'll treat you as priceless. That's the highest form of respect. Not when people admire you, not when they like you, but when they calculate the cost of crossing you and decide it's too expensive. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. People value what is rare and fear what is costly. Your job is to become both. The mistake most people make is the opposite. They give unlimited access to their time, their energy, their loyalty. They overstay, over-explain, over-invest, and by doing so, they make themselves cheap. Scarcity creates value. Abundance breeds contempt. If you want people to fear losing you, master 3 principles. First, stop over-investing. Never give more than you receive. In business, stop volunteering endless favors. In relationships, stop showering others with constant attention. In friendships, stop being the one who always reaches out first. Machiavelli warned rulers not to lavish too much generosity. It makes subjects greedy and ungrateful. The more you give without cost, the less it's respected. Second, learn to walk away early. The man who cannot walk away is owned by whoever can make him stay. If someone disrespects you, betrays you, or simply stops appreciating you, disappear. No dramatic speech, no begging, just leave. Your silence will sting far more than words ever could. Machiavelli taught that decisive action terrifies opponents because it leaves no room for negotiation. Third, make your presence rare. Stop being constantly available. Don't answer every call immediately. Don't accept every invitation. When you're everywhere, you're taken for granted. When you're selective, people start wondering what you're doing, who you're meeting, what you're planning. Mystery creates respect because people fear what they cannot fully read. Live by these principles and people instinctively sense that your respect is valuable and your time is expensive. They start fighting to stay in your good graces. They become cautious with words, careful with actions, because they know one wrong move and you'll vanish without warning. This isn't cruelty, it's leverage. Machiavelli advised rulers to cultivate an image of independence so that others always fear displeasing them. Love is voluntary. People give it when it costs nothing. But respect mixed with fear is earned and it sticks. Look at anyone truly powerful. They never beg to be liked. They don't flood others with attention. They make themselves scarce. And when they appear, everyone listens. Why? Because no one wants to risk being cut off. Scarcity plus consequence equals power. Here's the brutal truth. People only value what they can lose. If you never let anyone believe they could lose you, they'll never value you. If you never create distance, they'll never chase you. If you're always explaining, always forgiving, always present, you'll always be treated as replaceable. The moment people fear losing you, everything shifts. They choose their words more carefully. They think twice before lying. They weigh the cost of disrespect, and most of the time, they decide it's not worth the risk. This isn't manipulation, it's self-respect enforced as policy. You're not punishing people, you're refusing to cheapen yourself. And as Machiavelli would say, a man who values himself forces the world to value him in return. The greatest mistake ambitious men make is drowning themselves in accessibility. They think being available to everyone at every hour proves loyalty. In truth, it destroys value. Familiarity doesn't breed love, it breeds contempt. Those who see you too often stop seeing your worth. Machiavelli saw this with brutal clarity. A prince who mingles too freely becomes ordinary. His presence loses its weight. To command respect, you must cultivate an aura of scarcity. Appear less, speak less, give less. But when you do, let every word and every action strike like thunder. Distance doesn't make you cold. Distance makes you significant. It forces people to wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, whether they're still in your favor. When you're always visible, you're predictable. When you're sometimes absent, you're mysterious. And mystery breeds fear. This is the respect switch no one teaches. You don't gain authority by chasing validation. You gain it by becoming difficult to reach, by reserving your attention as a prize. In politics, leaders hold closed-door meetings not just for secrecy, but because secrecy itself is power. It signals decisions are made in rooms others cannot enter. Apply this to your own life. Don't give everyone your time. Don't answer every message instantly. Let people feel your absence. Make them wait. The moment you stop being instantly available, you rise above them. They adjust to your pace. They measure their words when they finally reach you. Consider the generals who only address their soldiers at decisive moments. Their silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Their rare appearances give their voice the weight of law. Even a few words feel monumental. Meanwhile, the commander who mingles daily becomes just another man. His orders lose weight. Strategic distance also protects you. When you're too close, you reveal your doubts, your flaws. People map your weaknesses. But when you maintain space, they must guess. They project strength onto you because they don't see you bleed. And when people believe you're untouchable, they treat you that way. This isn't arrogance. Strategic distance isn't about insulting others. It's about training them to value you. When they finally gain access, they won't waste it. They'll approach you with respect, not familiarity. If you're always present, you'll always be taken for granted. But if you vanish and return on your own terms, Every reappearance feels like an event. That's how you shift from being liked to being respected. People don't admire what they fully understand. They admire what they can't fully grasp. So remain partly hidden. Speak less than you know. Reveal less than you feel. Let your silence speak. In time, others will learn. When you speak, it matters. When you move, it shakes the ground. The switch from being liked to being respected is not flipped by pleasing people. It's flipped by denying them constant access. Machiavelli would tell you, make them earn your attention and they'll value it. Withdraw from the crowd and you'll rise above it. When your presence is rare, your power becomes absolute. The world doesn't bow to those who chase approval. It bows to those who radiate power. People may like you, but they only respect you when they fear losing your favor. To survive among the cunning, you must abandon the illusion that kindness alone earns loyalty. Respect is forged through strength, control, and distance, not through smiles and soft words. When you stop giving everyone unlimited access, when you stop explaining yourself to the undeserving, you rise above them. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them question if they've crossed you. Become unpredictable. Appear when you choose, not when they summon you. Those who are always available become invisible. Those who are scarce become unforgettable. Train people to value your time, your presence, your attention. That means being willing to say no, being willing to walk away, being willing to let others feel your absence. When you master this, you no longer compete for respect. You command it without asking. The truth is harsh, but it's liberating. You owe no one warmth. You owe fairness on your own terms. Those who truly matter will adjust. Those who don't will fall away. And when they finally see you, when they finally hear your voice, every word will carry the weight of law. This is the transformation Machiavelli would demand. From the obedient, approval-seeking soul into the cold, calculating force that bends the world. If this opens your eyes, if you're ready to stop being liked and start being respected, don't just nod and forget. Act. Flip the respect switch now, because the game won't wait for you. And from this moment forward, neither should you.